Okay, good. My name's Warren, and glad you're here today. We're going to walk down this sidewalk, be walking underneath that hillside right there. Now, what you're going to enter is a huge cave. This thing is 13 miles long. Actually, probably 14 by the time we're done with the survey that's underway there. So it's a great big cave. We're going to go on a half a mile tour route underground. But on that half a mile, you're going to have a very good idea as to what exists beyond the tour routes. In this neck of the woods, and for all of Minnesota, it's the largest disappearing river in a limestone terrain in the state, at least. So typically, under typical conditions, this entire river sinks underground in its entirety. Now, I believe that is happening today, but I don't know. What normally happens in July and August is you'll see water at a little bit lower level than what we're seeing right now. And it'll flow down here, but it disappears through the stream bed into fractures that connect with Mystery Cave. So the volume of water in this river gradually diminishes. Now, in those late summer months, typically, we average out 20 years or so, that will be happening, well, it happens all year round, but it'll be happening to such an extent that a half mile downstream, which is where the end of the lane is, where you turned into Mystery Cave, there's no more water in the river. It is just as dry as the gravel on the parking lot up there where you park. And that will be dry for a 5.5 mile stretch, because this water that sinks underground goes through Mystery Cave, which is out over here, and it eventually reemerges 1.5 miles from this location at some springs, where it flows right back into the same river valley. Good part of the year. Yes?
Is that a part of the cave up there?
It is indeed, and it would look like we could just crawl up there or climb up there and walk right in the cave, but what you can't see from here is that tapers down to something that is very small, and it is big enough for raccoons, but not big enough for people. So that is one entranceway of about 6 that extend into the valley wall here, and it's the only one that's open like this, though. Yes?
So we might see like raccoons and stuff maybe?
I don't think we'll see the raccoons because they are really skittish of people. But I can show you some raccoon tracks while we're down there. So evidence that the raccoons were here. That is called flowstone. And for those of you who've been in caves before, I bet you have seen this. There's a lot of it in the cave. And it's left here by water dripping or flowing down from where the wall meets the ceiling, right up there where that little bat is. Can you see him there?
Can you see it?
I didn't know it was there until I just turned my flashlight on. It might be behind some of the formation there for some of you, but anyway, he's up there. Wow, what a cutie. Water comes in there, and right where the bat is roosting, and has flowed down along that slope and left a mineral deposit. Calcium carbonate, which is very familiar to those of you who may have taken Tums before for acidic stomachs, because that's what that essentially is. That is made up of that mineral, calcium carbonate. Those little dam-like structures there will retain a little pool of water behind them. One of the tallest ceilings in any of the passages in the cave. This is a pretty significant spot. We're not in the cave very far, and we're actually not very deep below the surface. And indeed, that is exhibited also by this long hairy thing right over there. I got my flashlight on. What can that be up there?
A root?
It is a root.
Yay!
So the ceiling of this room, right where I have the flashlight now, actually that is only 7 feet thick there. That is underneath a ravine, a little ravine on the surface. A layer of limestone. And up above it, there's kind of this crumbly looking rock right in there. Over here, it actually forms a shelf. It's kind of rehydrated here. This is a layer of shale. Shale is like compressed mud, and the layer of limestone right above that shale, right up here, is technically not correct, but you can think of this as ground up seashells. And then look at this. Limestone, shale, limestone. I can't see what's going on here, so let's just move down the side of the room ways. Oh, okay, limestone here, shale, limestone, shale, limestone. My pointer's given out. Oh, not enough battery power. Limestone, shale, limestone, shale. Guess what's next?
Limestone.
Yeah, and that's how it is. Some sections of the wall are obscured because of flowstone or whatever. But that sequence is about 30 feet thick of this ancient rock, 450 million years old. A sequence that showed or is demonstrating rising sea levels, lowering sea levels, up and down, up and down. So stalactites are up here. Notice the arrangement of the stalactites on the ceiling. And you got to look around a bit to see this, because what kind of arrangement is he talking about? Well, they're kind of all over the place here. But look at this. Follow my flashlight here. And, there is a trend here. Yes, indeed. Not all fractures are created equally here. Not all transmit water to let the stalactites grow. These develop from water, rainwater from up above us, percolating down through the soil, hitting the limestone layers, dissolving some of that calcium carbonate, and leaving the deposits here. Now, in that process of the stalactites forming, or water dribbling down the floor and forming these flowstones like here, there is a process when these deposits are left there on the walls or ceiling where carbon dioxide is given off into the air. There's a chemistry change to the water when the river floods outside, and these toll roots flood yet today. So in June, 2 times during June of this year, water was up to right there at the bottom of that area. So almost everything we're walking through today went underwater at that time. And during that span of time, in a memorable event here that went on for a month, it didn't seem to quit, the lower levels of Mystery Cave flooded repeatedly during that time. The chemistry change in the water is such that then the water becomes aggressive with respect to that mineral, calcium carbonate in the rock, and it has the capacity to dissolve it away.